Hello gentlemen, how are you doing? I'm Oscar Brock, welcome to the channel and welcome to a really cool Pokemon video. You already know that my main content is to share and make sure everyone learns about Pokemon fan games, ROM hacks, so that everyone can discover new Pokemon adventures. That's how it is. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the support you've given me these past few years. It's crazy how much we've grown in terms of people who know us, projects, series, and new games. It's something I never thought we could achieve with so many people, and I want to mention that on the official WhatsApp channel we share exclusives, new wallpapers, I give you exclusive downloads, announcements about many things, and I think it's the best way to stay informed about everything. Really, thank you so much. To begin, I offer nearly everything I have or find online. If I discover well-translated games from other platforms, I'll upload them here for you. If I find a worthwhile newly translated ROM hack, I'll upload it here for you. If a new game comes out that's worth playing in English or another language, I'll upload it too. I'll share everything I find with you. And today I'm going to show you how I enjoy one of my favorite hobbies, which is reading manga. Very important notice, on the secondary channel you have a video about the Pokemon manga, okay? I recommend watching it. Because it's very important. It's a repository of the Pokemon manga that you can't miss, okay? Okay. You can't miss the video on the secondary channel talking about the repository I have of all the Pokemon manga. You can't miss it. Everything you'll see is designed for the best reading experience. For example, I read manga on my tablet, but it can be adapted for everyone, don't worry. Let me explain a bit. For example, when I started reading manga, I printed some pages and bought a large, cool tablet to read them in the best way. But the tutorial I'm going to make about how I set it up and how I do it is for any type of device. If you want to do it on your Android phone, you can do it. On your iPhone, you can do it too. If you want it on your PC or your old tablet, on your old laptop, don't worry, you can do it just the same, okay? I just recommend the tablet because, I don't know, you're on the bus, you're on the train, you're in bed, but you want to read it on a big screen, so that's why I recommend it. But everyone should take this information and use it however they want. Keep in mind that we're going to read manga. We're not playing a AAA game with thousands of textures that demands a powerful processor and lots of resources. Any old device, as long as it's decent, you can use it. As long as, well, you're not like this reading manga, because if you are, you won't really enjoy the experience. But I've already warned you, and now each person with that knowledge can apply it however they want. There are people who are extremely purist and want to do things exactly as they see them in my videos. So if you want, I'll share this information. Previously, I bought the PocoPad from Xiaomi for $200. I suggest buying tablets and similar items on AliExpress, as tech is usually cheaper there. You don't need to buy the newest expensive gaming tablet. Really, don't worry. Just get a good sized tablet, computer, or whatever you prefer. I'm just giving you the info about what I bought, in case anyone really wants to get what I have. If not, just skip that part of the video. Anyway, I bought the Xiaomi PocoPad tablet. I got myself a screen protector and a little case. That's it. Done. That's all. That's it. Nothing weird going on. That's it. And now, let's really show how I have it set up, okay? Let's see. To start with, I use the app. Kuro Reader Pro. There's a free version, and I use this paid one that's €3. It's your personalized library just the way you like it. I mean, there's nothing better than this. But I will also leave some free apps for you in the description and on the screen so you can see several options, okay? In this case, I use this one, Kuro Reader Pro, which is really cool. So, for example, I open the app and here I have all my collections. In my case, I have Berserk. So, for example, I go into Berserk and I have all the volumes of Berserk, okay? Then, for example, I have Black Clover, which is about to end. So, I watched the whole anime and now I want to read the manga since it's about to finish. I have Bleach, which I didn't know about, but I had to read it because it's essential. So, here I also have Bleach. Then, for example, I also have 2 Torii Stones here, which I highly recommend. 2 Torii Stones, it's really cool. You learn a lot, and it's a different kind of manga. Honestly, it's really cool. It ended not long ago, and it's amazing. Dragon Ball Super. Well, Dragon Ball Super is Dragon Ball. I mean, the Dragon Ball Saga, the Moro Saga. You also have to know about it. I think it's essential for you to get it. Then, I'm reading the Bible. I'm not kidding. I'm reading the Bible, and honestly, looking for summaries and things like that with visuals also helps a lot to get into the topic of the Bible and all that. And I don't know, they told me that, this is a personal thing, but they told me that if you read the Bible, you become a better person, so let's try it, and that's it. Fairy Tail is still pending for me. I've only read a few so far, but I have the full series and want to dive in when I have more time. I finished Jules Kaiser. I finished reading it recently, it's awesome. Jujutsu Jules is one of the most famous manga and anime. We have Naruto. Well, I already know all of Naruto, but in my case, I'll reread it again. from little Naruto to Shippuden, who I think is also a really top character. I have One Piece in color, okay? One Piece, honestly, I have every single issue of One Piece. And it's true that it can get a bit tedious if you start from scratch and try to read everything all at once. But if you go little by little, it's really cool. Then we have Pokemon, which is all divided up by saga, right? For example, the first Red Saga, we have Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Green, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, and it explains everything here. Super, super well explained, okay? Then we also have Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, okay? We have it here, the Gold, Silver, and Crystal Saga. It's super cool. This is one of my favorites. Gold, Silver, and Crystal is really great. Well, I'll be going through each saga in the video on my secondary channel that I mentioned. But anyway, I have everything from Pokemon up to the latest release, which is Pokemon Sword and Shield. I also have the special ones, Mystery Dungeon and both Pokemon Ranger games. Honestly, I think Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is pretty weak. It's kind of like a summary of Volume 50 of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Red Rescue Team, but, well, it's interesting to read, you know? It's very simple. Then we move on to Soul Labyrinth. I have manhwas too, but right now, only Soul Labyrinth. I read it back then, the anime is awesome, and the manhwa is amazing. And on top of that, since almost all the Soul Labyrinth manhwas are in color, you'll be able to enjoy it too. Really cool. And then, finally, I have Yu-Gi, which I have to start, but I'll take it easy because it's really long. I have all of Yu-Gi. I have Yu-Gi 5DS, Yu-Gi GX, the Yu-Gi Special, Yu-Gi Zexal. I mean, I have all of Yu-Gi, which is divided into micro sagas, right? For example, you have the original Yu-Gi series, and it's all the original Yu-Gi, okay? So, for example, you go into 5DS, which is my favorite, with Yusei, with Jack Atlas, and so on, and we have it here. And it's really cool, okay? It's super top. So, the reading studio format, okay, let's see. The reading format is very simple. For example, I'm reading Black Clover. Let's begin directly from Volume 1. I don't want to give too many spoilers. So, the manga is displayed like this. You can adjust the page however you want from the app. You can set it to display horizontally or vertically. And you just swipe, okay? And it's really easy to read. You tap here and it's easy to read. Unlike the full version, just read like this. It's simple. If you want, for example, imagine you see, I don't know, an interesting frame that catches your eye and you want to zoom in a bit. Well, you can zoom in without any problem to read whatever you want or focus on the characters or whatever you need. And it's great, okay? It's great. Honestly, it's very interesting and that's how I read. For example, with One Piece, I have almost everything in color. So, obviously, you enjoy it a lot more. You already know that these kinds of apps support all existing reading formats. PDFs, PDFs, TXT, EPUB, I mean everything, PNGs, anything you want to read. If you have it in PDF, CBR, PNG, or any format, you can read it without issue. For example, this is the same. Here are Shanks' crew members. So you zoom in and focus on details, right? If you want to read or you want to find, I don't know, a different perspective or whatever, you can do it like this and read without any problem, okay? You might say, okay, you've got it set up really cool. I think it's awesome. But how do you download the manga? Or how do I get the app and all that stuff? You just download the app and that's it. I mean, you go to the app store and download the app, the one I told you about, okay? How? I don't know. You have 1,000 options. I'm going to leave you here a free app to read manga as well. And here's another free one so you can read manga and your stuff, okay? I'll leave both here. It's very important to tell you that I have all the manga in offline format, okay? That is, if I lose my internet connection, if anything happens, I have my manga saved in the internal storage and I don't have any problem. I can read it on the train, in a tunnel, in a cave. I can go into a cave, dig a hole on the beach, get into the hole, and I can read my manga. I don't depend on anything. I don't get any kind of ads. No ads pop up. No pop-ups appear. Why? Because I think it's the best way to enjoy your manga, which is to have the file in a local format. So you go on Google, download it, or you go to the secondary Pokemon channels repository and download your Pokemon stuff. Connect it to your tablet or phone. Add the manga files and just find the folder on your device. I mean, I don't think I need to make a tutorial for that, but it's simple. Basically, you download your manga, put them in a folder, and from the app, you look for the folder. That's it. If it works, everything sets up automatically. Alright? And that's about it. I think it's an interesting video. I think it's a cool video. I think it's the best way to read manga. A lot of people ask me, how do you read manga? How do you read it like that? How come you don't get ads? Well, this is how I do it, okay? If you like this kind of stuff, then go ahead and subscribe. If you want a step-by-step tutorial on the secondary channel showing where I search, how I download, and how I add it to an app, risking a strike or complaint, just subscribe and I'll see if I can do it. I'm off. See you soon, everyone.